What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Amelia Talks. Let's talk about it. If you are new to my channel, welcome back. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. Thank you for joining me. So this is the part 2 to my part 1 video on how I accomplished a 123 on my GT score, like different things that I did to increase my score, which means it goes all the way down to like the instructors, the way you're studying, your support system, making sure you're doing what you need to do to improve your GT score, because y'all cannot be playing no games. Like when I took the class back in October, I wasn't saying that I was playing games, but I had to go to work every day. And if you can see, or if you go back and look at the first video, I am letting you guys know that I had to take leave this time. I had to be away from work. Nobody could call me in or none of that. So if you guys are interested in watching this video, then please make sure you stay tuned. All right, you guys, welcome back. So the number one difference that I found when I went to the BSEP class, or different posts call it different things, because when I went the very first time at Fort Huachuca, the class was called the FAST class. But when I took it here at Fort Bragg, it is actually called the BSEP class. So the difference between the Fort Huachuca class and the Fort Bragg class is that when I went in Fort Huachuca, there was only one instructor. That one instructor covered arithmetic, reasoning, paragraph comprehension, and word knowledge. And being that he was one instructor, because it was a male, and I'm not trying to knock the instructors based off Fort Huachuca and the ones based off Fort Bragg, because people have different teaching methods and different styles. But I'm telling you what worked for me, and I am telling you that the best bet, or your best bet, is to come to Fort Bragg, because there's a 90% chance that you will achieve over a 110 GT score based off the classes at Fort Huachuca and the classes at Fort Bragg. The number of size, if you go to Fort Huachuca, that's a small post. So I think when I went, it was only like maybe 20 of us, but when I went to Fort Bragg, there was 3 instructors and it was like 200 of us. Okay, so at Fort Bragg, you have over a 90% pass rate because there's 3 instructors. They're covering all the different topics, versus you have one instructor at Fort Huachuca. He's trying to cover all 3 topics. So when I went to Fort Huachuca, he gave us words. So based off the word knowledge, okay, you have to learn so many words, and it's just not like everyday words that you see. You basically have to pick up a book and look and read through a book and try to remember certain words that you see in a book, and if you don't know them, highlight them and look them up in the dictionary. So when the instructor was doing the word knowledge portion at Fort Huachuca, he gave us the words, told us to take them home, didn't tell us about studying the synonyms, didn't tell us about what is it called, the different groups of the words. So basically, is it an adverb, is it an adjective, is it a noun? And I now know, based off going to Fort Bragg, that the difference was because he was just one person. Okay, again, even with the math, when he went over the arithmetic, reasoning, he didn't go over every question with us. So every day we would come into class from 9 to 16:30. That's another difference. We was in class from 9 to 16:30 at Fort Huachuca, versus when you go to Fort Bragg, you are in class from 9 to 12. There's 3 classes. You have one from 9 to 12, you have one from 13 to 16:30, and then you have a hybrid class, which is at night from 6 to 9. When I went to Fort Huachuca, the class was all day from 9 to 16:30. And let's just say we first walked into the class, he gave us homework to take home. If we did not know how to do the math, we basically didn't do the homework. If I got home and I could not figure out how to do the equation or what formulas to use, I went to class the very next day, because I'm like, well, you didn't go over this with us, so how are you gonna give us homework to take home to do, and we not know how to do it? Versus when I went to Fort Bragg BSEP class, the instructor gave us questions. He went over every question with us, and then the very next day he went and asked us if we had any questions, and then gave us a new worksheet. Okay, and in regards to the word knowledge at Fort Bragg, the instructor, her name is Miss Cheney, she actually gave us words to take home every day. When she gave us the words and we came back the next day in class. So if we had 150 words, she went over 30 words per day. And when I say she went over 30 words per day, she went over the synonym. She used it in a sentence. She told us what group that the sentence belonged to, whether it was a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. She gave us so many tools to use when it came to us trying to, figure out our words and how to learn our words. And again, she even gave us worksheets that outlines how to fill in the blank. Basically, you fill in the blank with the word. So there is a big difference, and I don't know how every post is set up. I'm just telling you my version of when I was at Fort Huachuca versus Fort Bragg, because there was a significant difference and a significant change in the way that the instructors taught and the way that the material was given to us. And again, like I said, I guess it was just based off the size of the post, because Fort Huachuca is small. They only had one instructor. And even when it comes to paragraph comprehension, a lot of people go into thinking that paragraph comprehension is the easiest subject. It's not. It's not, right? So a lot of us, even though we got over a 110, because again, the pass rate for Fort Bragg is over 90%. So even though a lot of us improved our score and we got over a 110, we still kind of sucked in the paragraph comprehension. The word knowledge and the arithmetic reasoning kind of made up for that. But again, we still had to get an average or above average on the paragraph comprehension to even get over a 110. And what I mean by that is a lot of people think that when they read a paragraph that they think they're going to know the answer, and that's not the thing. So you basically have to take context clues from out of the paragraph and answer the question. Okay, so even when I was at Fort Huachuca, the instructor gave us paragraphs like little mini paragraphs to take home and read. And he went over the questions and the answers with us the very next day. But the difference is when we first started the class at Fort Huachuca, he gave us a list of different resources or different things or different places or websites that we can go to do more paragraph comprehension. But he didn't, and the instructor did not tell us how important it was, versus the instructor at Fort Bragg was just like, look, this is the link. You need to go to this link. You need to register. It's free. Go to Read Theory every morning when we came to class. Did you guys get on Read Theory last night? Okay, what grade level are you at? Because on Read Theory, it'll start you off at like 3rd, 4th grade level, and you have to work your way up. And even though it sounds bad because it's like 3rd and 4th grade level, trust and believe me, you will get those answers wrong. And you're looking like, okay, I'm grown. I'm in my 20s. I'm in my 30s. Ain't no way paragraph comprehension is that hard. But I'm telling you, it really is. And I was stuck on a 7th, 8th grade reading level for a long time, because every time you get an answer wrong, it basically knocks you back down to the last grade level. So if I'm on a 7th grade level and I get too many questions wrong, it'll knock me back down to the 6th grade level, and then I have to work my way back up to 7th grade level. So Read Theory will help you. So it's readtheory.org. And the instructor came, when I was at Fort Bragg, she was just like, did you guys get on Read Theory today? If you did this, if you did that, then how did you do? She encouraged us. She motivated us every single day, versus when I went in Fort Huachuca, the instructor was just like, hey, here go the links. Get on these links and study your paragraph comprehension, and you should be fine. And so when I was at Fort Huachuca, I didn't know the difference, because I'm like, okay, it sounds good, but it is a big difference. And that's pretty much what I took away from the instructors. Okay, now I know you might be at a different post, and I know y'all might be saying to yourselves, like, there's no way I'm going to be able to come to Fort Bragg to take a class. Yes, you will. Don't never doubt yourself. Don't never say that what you cannot do. You can absolutely do it. On top of that, make sure you go ahead and follow my new Instagram page. It's all about mental awareness, military affiliated quotes and stuff like that, because you don't want to quit on yourself. You don't want to give up on yourself. I almost did that, and then I had to pull myself back in. I had to encourage myself, motivate myself. Okay, so even though I'm telling you to go to the class at Fort Bragg, don't think that just because it is at Fort Bragg and you are stationed at Fort Stewart, or you are stationed in Germany, that you won't never have a chance to come to the class at BSEP. It is worth it. It will pay off if you save your money, if you ask your family for help, if you have a spouse, if you have children, you're a single parent, it can be done. I'm telling you, you just have to find those resources. And if you need help with finding resources, or if you're like, look, Sonfood, I know you're telling me I need to come to Fort Bragg, but for me in my situation, it is just impossible. Nothing is never impossible. And in my last video, I was talking about having a good support system and basically taking leave, right? So when I took leave, my husband, he works on post, right? So my husband would pick up my son, Phoenix. So we have 2 kids. The oldest one is playing sports. It's summer, so we didn't really have to do too much with him. But if you have a spouse, or if you are a single parent, just let them know, like, hey, this is for my career. I'm trying to progress. This is something that I need. I need your help. Can you help me pick up the kids from daycare? Can you watch them while I study at night? Because when I went home every day, I still studied. You have to study. You can't just go to class from 9 to 12 and then go to work from 13 to 16, 1700, be able to pick up your kids, be able to cook dinner, and by that time you're like, look, I'm tired, I'm about to go to bed. It doesn't work that way. I did that back in October, and it did not work for me. That's why I got on 102. So I went to BSEP, then I went to work, and then I went to work. And then I got home, I was tired, I had to cook, I was taking care of the kids, and I was just like, I'm not studying tonight. I'll just go back to class tomorrow in the hopes of I remember what they taught me yesterday. Not even studying none of my vocabulary words, not even trying to figure out what the synonyms was, not even trying to figure out if it was a noun or adverb or none of that. I just thought, okay, I'm a science first class. I can't be that slow. I should be able to get over a 110. And guess what? When I went to the class in October, I got a 102. So when I say have a good support system, make sure you have a good support system, whether it be your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your spouse. If you're a single parent and you have a friend, just be like, look, girl, look, bro, I need your help with this. I am trying to improve my GT score. I'm trying to be a warrant. I'm trying to go OCS, especially if y'all have college degrees, because a lot of people are smart. We just don't take the time to focus on what it is that we're doing. We think that just by going to a class and not coming home and studying that we will be able to do okay, because it's kind of like college when you're doing an online class and you don't study. You come out of that class thinking that you're going to get like an A or a B, but then at the end of that class, when the class is over, you end up walking out with a C or maybe a high D. So that's how it is. If you know that your GT score is very important to you, then you need to come home and study every single day. Okay, so I covered the different instructors. I covered the different subjects and how you need to study. Again, the BSEP class at Fort Bragg gives you so many tools, so many different links, and they will take the time to study with you during lunch, and they'll take the time to study with you before the class even starts in the morning, because class starts at 9, but the instructors get there at 8 o'clock. So if you are currently in a class right now, or if you plan on taking a class where you're stationed at first just to see how it is, and you think, okay, what's the hurts of me getting a 110 if I take it here at Fort Stewart or if I take it at Hunter Army Airfield Base? Just know that when you go in there, if the teacher or the instructors are not telling you the different groups of the words like or whatever, or if they're not telling you to study every night, or if they're not giving you the different links or asking you about your paragraph comprehension, just know that the instructors teach different, and that might not be the way for you to go, especially if you leave that class without a 110. Just go ahead, do those things that I told you to do, the 5 top things that I told you guys to do in the first video, which is come to Fort Bragg, take leave, register for the class. But yeah, that's pretty much, I think, the difference between taking the class at Fort Huachuca or a different duty station versus taking it at Fort Bragg. And it pretty much worked out for me, and it will work out for you too. But I have in my book bag everything that I did. I had index cards, I had highlighters, I had pencils, I had pens, I had a binder. So I will show you guys basically some study material. So this is what you get when you first come. You have this booklet, and it consists of like all the study material for arithmetic reasoning, and the instructor gave us a handout with all of the words, 150 words plus, and it has the synonyms to all of them, and we had the worksheets. We had so much stuff when we were getting taught. So I noticed in my last video that the air in my house came on while I was filming, and it got extremely loud. So if you hear that, that's exactly what it is. It's the air coming on. Okay, so here are all the index cards. As you can see, I highlighted them. I had put the synonyms on the back. I even made sentences to some of the words that I did not know, and I broke it down into like groups. So like the first 30 words that we went over a day, I studied those words, and if I did not know them, I put them on the back end, and I went and I wrote a sentence for them, and I still continued to study them, because the ones that I knew, I could just breeze through them. So of course, my main focus was the ones that I did not know. So I had these index cards, so I had 2 stacks of index cards. I had all this study material, all these papers. I went and got an extra pack of index cards. I had my highlighters, my pens, my pencils. I had a whole pack just in case I did not want to be unprepared, because in October I failed. I got a 102, and I was not playing games this time when I went to the BSEP class in June. I had everything that I needed. My husband was here for me. I took leave. I submitted my 4187. I registered for the class. The teacher asked me if I wanted to do the morning, afternoon, or hybrid class. Of course, I said no to the hybrid class, because again, that was from 6 to 9, and I'm already tired at that point. And your supervisor or your job is going to expect you to come in if you go to a class that's from 6 to 9. I'm sorry, I have a pimple on my forehead, and it's just like, you can see it clear as day. But what I was saying in regards to the fill in the blank, we had so many fill in the blanks. you had to fill in the blanks, so you had to match the words. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then that was on the front side, and on the back side you had to put A, B, C, D, E and match the word with the letter. Basically match all the synonyms up with the actual word. And I had a notebook as well in my binder. I had a notebook which I was writing down, you know, like the steps when it came to the different math problems. Like the class that I took at Fort Bragg compared to the class that I took at Fort Huachuca was definitely a huge difference. And that's why in the very first video, those top 5 things, I listed Fort Bragg as being 2 of them. So please make sure you check out that video before you check out this one so you won't be confused. But again, I got a 123. So when I was at Fort Huachuca, I didn't even take the test. I was scared. Initially, I started off with an 89, but I was just like, man, I didn't learn anything at Fort Huachuca, so I don't think I'm going to take it, because back then they had it to where you can only take it 2 times. And now the Army has had it to where you can take it as many times as you want. You just have to wait 6 months, or either you have to go through HRC and submit a memo, and HRC will let you waive, or they will waive the time that you have to wait if you want to retake it. So for example, when I took it in October, I did a memo because I'm just like, look, I'm trying to go warrant. I need to hurry up and get this 110. But in October, I didn't get a 110. I got a 102. I submitted a memo through the Ed Center. They submitted it to HRC, and HRC was just like, yes, we're going to waive the 6-month wait period for you to retake the test. But I still waited. I waited until June, and then I went back and I just went back through the class, because I knew that some of the reasons for why I got a 102 was because I didn't take leave. I was getting bothered with work every day. I still had to come in. I wasn't studying like I was supposed to. I didn't even really ask my husband for help. I just came home, tried to study as much as I could. And I just went to bed, not even trying to stay focused on it, because I just didn't. So those were my mistakes. Don't make the same mistakes. But this basically concludes this video. I don't really have anything else. If you have any comments, please make sure you leave them in the description box below. But until next time, you guys, this is Amelia Talks. Let's talk about it. Peace.